I'm Geoffrey and in Broken Crescent version 2.3.2 on Very Hard. Broken Crescent is a mod for Medieval 2 Total War Kingdoms, and I want to test the Mongol invasion for my modding project. This is not the latest version, but Khwarezm has not changed in the last two versions, 2.3 and 2.4. So we're in the year 78, there's still a plague in Firuzku. One of our faction members has just been married. We are recruiting various light units, mainly in our newly conquered provinces. We have some shisha bars in places where there is a thieves guild and various other things. Shahjadeh Mankubarnu the Honorable is our faction heir. He's gained various traits since his last victory. He also gained two ancillaries, a shield bearer and a veteran warrior. Malik Shah Shahanshah is a diplomat. I am modding the portraits of the diplomats since they were mostly princes and royalty and nobility, so I want to make them look a little bit different from merchants. So we've just noticed that Kabul only has a single unit as a garrison, so although I was hoping or planning to attack Ghazni looks much better defended. So I am actually more inclined at the moment to attack Kabul. So here's our army of Malik Shah, who's the main character campaigning around here.
As my Sultan wills.
We are sending our spy to have again another look.
My ears are yours, unseen, invisible.
So a spy has a 62% chance of getting into Kabul. He's not a great spy, but he has a decent chance. By the way, these are very interesting units to patrol these guardsmen you see here. We don't see these in Broken Crescent. I quite like this kind of type. So Origin has been successful. He is dressed up as a Gorid guardsman. So he's now in Kabul.
The infidel will not know again.
So for some reason in the previous versions of Broken Crescent, people used to wear tunics a lot. The new models have improved on this.
Honorable battle. We shall endure outside their walls. Lay siege!
Okay, we're laying siege on Kabul. I made up my mind. So Malik Shah is attacking Kabul. They only have one unit there, and we have catapults. But I am going to auto-resolve. And we lost 58 men. That's probably realistic. I'm fine with that. It's not worth doing a whole battle just for a settlement with one unit in it. I would almost certainly get inside.
Yes. Alhamdulillah, we have prevailed. All praise to Allah for this victory.
We've taken Kabul. We've sunk the place. Our catapults caused a hell of a lot of damage in the buildings of Kabul, including on the wall, just one catapult. During battles on the battle map, it's hard enough to break down the door. To cause so much damage with a catapult is quite amazing. So we're repairing everything. And we're also building some shisha buildings, some tavern, some bar type thing. There is a thieves guild in Kabul, so it looks like the right thing to build. So, meanwhile, in the land of Hind, we are laying siege on Peshawar, and there is a Gorid unit around there, but they're not doing much about it. There's a big stack, but they're not attacking us. That's something I want to also check. I've made a note of that.
Orders. We march.
So we're trying to bring public order in all our settlements in Hind and Sindh.
Orders. We move, Sultan.
So we nearly built a racetrack in Kolachi because public order was an issue there. And we've strengthened the garrison in Tata, or Fata. We still need to bring public order up. This part of the world was Shia and we're Sunni, so public order was very low around here.
Sultan. Naam.
And we're putting a couple of units on those forts to decrease upkeep, the expensive ones, keeping only light units in. There you see the heavy units have gone into that fort. And we're keeping only light units for garrisons. So back to the northern part of India or Pakistan, thereabouts. We're in Pindi. And this was the part from where invaders invaded India, around Peshawar. There's a pass there. Forget its name now.
Infidels to kill, Sultan.
Here, and so Peshawar is in this pass that very often the Mongols and others used to invade India, including the Ghurids, the original Ghaznavids, and so on. So here's Peshawar. You see that reasonably large stack. There's a Ghurid army nearby, it's not doing anything. So Qutbuddin Firzan was the guy who went to Kabul. He's gained some experience and we're laying siege on Peshawar. Peshawar has only a small garrison, only 2 units. I think it has a general and a light archer unit. You see the light archer unit there? It's silver severant, but other than that, it's quite light.
The infidels do not deserve life! Take it from them!
And I think we've only managed so far to build a ladder, but I don't want to wait just in case that Ghurid stack attacks us. So we're just going in with a single ladder. Took them forever to build a ladder. What's so difficult about it? Half a year has passed. So here's our army with our ladder. Or ladders, actually there are 4 ladders, so that's not so bad. And we see a lot of buildings in the area.
So, our foes have realized that there is about to be a battle. It seems a pity to wake men just to kill them!
Such wonderful speeches, and the voice acting is amazing. Our Shah, of course, is extremely dreadful. He has very high dread.
Units on my order!
So he's making these very snag black humor comments. So here's Peshawar. You saw on the map they just have 2 units. They have a general's bodyguard on horse, and then they have that archer unit. Our ladders got stuck on that stone and they got really stuck in a twist. My goodness. I should have put them away from that rock. I didn't notice there was a rock there when I was setting them up. Anyway, they managed to get the ladders going, and we are hurrying to get to that wall as far away from the general as possible, in a place they don't set units up around here. They set up their archer near the gate on the right, and I had some cavalry there just to pretend I was going to attack in that direction, but I didn't. It was just to keep the archer unit away. The general has come out of the keep, but he's camped around here. He could have gone to activate one of the towers, but he hasn't done that. The AI is only human, after all.
Our ladders have reached the walls. May our brave lions strike these curs who hide behind them.
So we put the ladders on the wall. Look at this very interesting building. It's like some kind of small fortified something or other. And there are also these other buildings here near to the fortress. There's various farms. I'm very interested in these because sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. It's not very clear what triggers them to appear on a map, on a battle map. We tend to get the same ones, although there we had a relatively largest farm. We mostly get farms, but here we got this fortified structure for the first time, I think. This thing in the background. So we managed to get onto the wall. Unfortunately, the archers got here first. Very unfortunate. It took forever to get up those ladders. And so my hope was to... I had several of these javelin units. They are mercenaries, I think. They're the only ones I could find around here. And I needed them for the ladders. Unfortunately, as I was saying, I wanted to put two of those up on the wall, so one of them could fight and the other one throw javelins. But they just took forever. They're all waiting downstairs. They just took forever to get up the ladders. Finally, however, we broke the enemy unit. And so here you see, by the way, what I was saying before. Those guardsmen were very heavily armored.
Our foe fights with horns made of clay. We are winning the battle.
Of course, they were not archers. Maybe they were a heavier kind of guard unit, a heavy militia unit of some kind. But these people are just dressed like in their everyday clothes. They have no armor, they have nothing. This guy right in front of us, he has a metallic helmet of some kind. He's the only one who's wearing any armor of any sort. The other guy has a wooden shield. He has been slain. He should have brought a proper shield. What is that? I mean, what? The other thing that's a little bit strange is the curved swords, the scimitars these guys are holding. Scimitars were for cavalry. Infantry had straight swords, so even the Arabs had straight swords, and they were not using scimitars. I don't know if infantry ever used scimitars. The scimitars is for cavalry, you know, they are curved, so when the cavalryman rides past infantry or people, they can cut the heads off and whatever, cut the hands off, slice them with his scimitar, which is curved, so it doesn't get stuck, you know, can continue cutting. That's the idea. But for infantry, it's not very useful because you need to stab, and you can't stab very well with a curved scimitar. And also the animations are not right, because they have stabbing animations. You may watch some of them, they stab with the scimitars, but you cannot really stab with a scimitar.
Our foe fights with horns made of clay. We are winning.
So maybe
the
it should be
battle.
replaced with a different animation, maybe for the mace or something like that. Or just change the sword and have a straight type. There are a ton of things that just come into my mind all the time when I watch these video clips. It's not reasonable to have so many people just wearing tunics and stuff. There's a battle going on, or yeah, I don't know what the idea was when... I mean, you know, sometimes we have this idea in the West that there were millions of Muslims. They were poorly dressed, poorly armored, poorly trained, and then there were a handful of knights who were going around killing everybody because the Muslims didn't think of wearing any armor. I think that's a bit of a myth. So I've speeded up everything here.
They lose their will to fight.
Look how fast now they're going up the ladders. So the battle goes on unabated. We get those worthless javelin men up on the walls. It seems the enemy archers are much better. They've killed a few hundred of those worthless javelin men. Finally, we've routed the enemy archers. We lost more than half of our javelin men, but at least we routed the enemy. And so these guys now are going to the gate to open the gate so our cavalry can come in. That's all I care about. They're throwing javelins. It's a little bit too late now. If you had hurried up to get up that wall, you would have had a chance to throw javelins really at the backs of those archers. There's hardly anyone left. I mean, nearly everyone died in that battle. It's crazy. These javelin men are absolutely worthless. They are the most worthless unit. So the units for Khwarezm have not changed at all between the two versions, but other units have changed. And of course the new factions have, obviously, units that weren't in the game before. And I would really like to see that all units are overhauled. Some of them are great, some of them are okay, some of them are not good at all, even in the present version. You know, when the game was made, can you imagine it was made in a year? There was a ton of work for those people to do, so they just made some of those skins very simply. And its playability in those days, making video clips, it wasn't a big thing. Good-looking units were not a big thing in the very beginning. They just wanted to get something done. So finally we've opened the gate. It took forever for the javelin men to get to the gate. We're not on a holiday, guys. So anyways, we're trying to go in now with our cavalry. And the enemy cavalry has retreated into the keep. You can see there in the minimap on the upper right. So I'm speeding up the timer a little bit. So we have to get now into the keep, which is not a simple thing. Fortunately, we still have the ladders, so one of the units has to go and get the ladders.
Our ladders have reached the walls. May our brave lions strike these curs who hide behind them.
Those brave lions couldn't kill a single unit of archers. Those brave lions. Come on, brave lions. We're gonna have the same situation again with one unit, with every unit stuck in melee. We'll see. So what I want to do is I want to go in with the first unit and attack the archers, and then go in with the other units and set them up behind. Okay, the archers have made themselves scarce, so we can put the javelin men now on the walls. I guess the archers routed. The archers routed at the sight of our brave lions. So we're still in time 2, so back to normal speed. And so finally we've opened this gate as well. We've taken the gatehouse. The enemy general is not doing much. He cannot do much against javelin men on the wall anyway. So once the archers were defeated, everything was made a lot easier. So our cavalry is approaching, and we've got the gatehouse. We've opened the gate. And another thing that I don't like that much is the horses. I prefer the Rosicci horses, or there are other horses in other mods that are better. I can't remember where I've seen them, maybe in Chivalry. Some other mods have very nice horses. The vanilla horses are not great. There's a ton of things I'd like to do. It's just time is the, whatever. Sky's the limit, time is the limit. So our cavalry is going in. And we'll see what the enemy cavalry is going to do. The enemy archers have started shooting at our men. The enemy cavalry is charging us. The enemy general, he has lancers, I think. And he's charging one of our units. I think he charged our general. That's okay. In the meantime, we can hit him with arrows from behind. He has the uphill advantage.
Victory is well within our grasp. Time our foe will surely see this and lose heart. My lord, our men are in command of the castle.
But we can fill his back with arrows, so we're okay. Horse archers are unbeatable. You can conquer everything with horse archers.
Wisest one, my lord, our men are in command of the castle.
No big deal. As long as our general doesn't get slain, we're okay. He's our king, and he has, I think he has enough hit points. I think he's safe. There's also an advantage in going around with an army headed by your king because his bodyguard is very large. On the other hand, it costs a lot of upkeep. It has its advantages and disadvantages. I mean, what would you do otherwise? I mean, you wouldn't put him inside a fort or something. I mean, for free upkeep because it's expensive to have him. I mean, you have to have him out somewhere. Might as well campaign with him since he has 60 men in his bodyguard. So I got tired, I attacked the enemy in the rear with some of my horse archers.
All praise to Allah. You have left our enemy lost. They run like children. Scour them from the field.
And the enemy general's bodyguard was outnumbered so much
Victory is
that
ours.
they're out.
Victory both righteous and well deserved. It cannot be said otherwise.
So we lost about 180 men, I think it said. We actually lost experience a little bit, but never mind. Most of those 280 men were those javelin men, so really worthless.
We showed the enemy no mercy, Sultan. We have cut down the infidels' defenders. They resist us no more.
Indeed, Marshal. So we can get 20,000 florins from the loot in this place.
What is the infidel's name? My eyes.
So putting some agents inside to keep our Shah safe. And we got Peshawar. I expect that Stark, the gorge Stark, will retreat now. We're making, this turn we made 96,000 florins, nearly 98,000 florins, nearly 100,000.
Despite being an infidel, I respect you in battle.
So that army is very big. If they lay siege on us, we're in trouble. We'll see. We don't have very much around here. So another offer for Zakat. Can't remember if I think this time I accepted for the first and last time. Normally when I'm offered a Zakat, I have no money.
Even if they do not deserve it, I will offer the infidels a fair fight.
So that's, I think, a different Gorid army. And we are invading Gore from all sides. We've got Firuzkoz, we've got Kabul, we've got Peshawar now. And we've split Gore in 3. So we're training some of the units in Peshawar.
Despite being an infidel, I respect you in battle.
So here's our great Shah Muhammad, the killer. It's full of dread. 40 years old. Yeah, spies taking a look at that army. It's a very nice army, I have to say. It has some good units in it. It has those Emir's Ghulam warriors. That's looks like a nice unit. It has a defense of 33. Incredible. Must be the highest in the game. The Ghazi warriors have a defense of 20. They're fairly decent. I quite like them. They have proper armor. This is the kind of unit I like. And then they have some junior Ghulam archers. They're a nice unit. Very nice unit. I like them. Then, of course, the Askari nobles is one of my favorite units for this part of the world. Not as good as our cataphract, or half cataphract lancers, but they are very good. I like them. And then they have this Kalej Turkish bowmen. They're a light unit, but they also have some armor. These units do have armor. That's nice. Okay, taking a look at this army as well. I mean, one thing that I expect is, if you look at museums, the armor, the Muslim armor, Islamic armor from this period, they didn't just wear a little thing on their heads. Okay, that's an army we've seen before, that's right. They have those heavy Ghulam lancers, but otherwise they have medium to light units. So what I was saying is, I mean, some of the units here, the way they were made, they have a little metallic cap on their heads, and that's very often their only armor. Sometimes they only have that, maybe a shield. Well, they didn't just have a little metallic cap on their heads, they had chainmail hanging from it, and they were actually covered in chainmail. Usually the Islamic soldiers, they were not like this. I have to say, I mean, you can check in museums, the armor's there. And I mean, if you just had this little metallic cap on top of your head, I mean, you get knocked over and falls off your head, you never find it again. I mean, it has to be held down with chainmail. The whole thing, it was part of it, full chain mail armor. Anyway, we have finished the racing truck in Kolachi. We've made some repairs. We have various new traits. I didn't spend much time on the traits. Here's the situation around Kabul. So we split the enemy dominions into 3 now. There's Ghazni and another settlement over here, Gades, we cannot see it. And then they have been isolated. There's this other settlement in the distance, you can't see it, just has a white flag at the moment. I forget what it's called. And then there are 2 other settlements on the other side of those mountains. So we've really split the Ghurids into pieces. Their dominions have been separated. So our spies are taking a look at the enemy units. They've got some units near Kabul.
Leaving no trace, Sultan.
Yallah, my Sultan wishes you dead.
Mostly medium units.
My Sultan wishes you dead.
Yes, noble master.
And we don't have money to recruit anything. But we can hold Kabul with that army, but I think I'm going to attack that small unit to clear out, because we have all these units in the way. We cannot move about with all those little units. So it looks like the odds are against us, possibly because the enemy has more men. You can see 651, we have 575. But the enemy has infantry, some of which is not great. It's medium kind of thing. They also have some mercenaries, I think, but it's medium infantry. They have no archers, I don't think so, although they have 1 archer unit or javelin men. What are they? So they have these Pashtun warriors. They're medium, they have shields. They're not that great.
Inshallah, we shall all find a way to an honorable victory.
The odds, I'm not entirely sure how they're calculated, mainly based on numbers. The quality, if they're chevroned, plays a role. If some units have chevrons, then they get some, they account for more. And it's possible that the statistics come into play, because if you have 2 armies of equal numbers, then you see that the strength, the quality of the units matters to get the balance. But the main thing, I think, is the numbers. And if an army has a lot of infantry, the AI somehow considers it as being a better army. mean, more men, you could say you could outflank the enemy, but if it's just infantry, no, you can't. So we're out in the country around Kabul in Afghanistan. A very mountainous place for sure. And we have mostly cavalry, the enemy has only infantry.
Only foul drink can explain why those fools think they are an army. Time to show them otherwise!
That's right. That's why you're the Shah. You make great speeches and you're a good soldier.
Units, await my orders!
So, we're gonna skirmish them to death. Literally. So we're sending our horse archers to the flanks. It's a good place, good vantage point to shoot at the Khwarezm from. So it looks like the enemy has some of these swordsmen. You see, none of them is wearing neck guards. In fact, no one is wearing much. These guys have armor, they have kind of Kira's body armor. But a lot of them are not wearing very much armor. So one of the units is chasing our general. The general has charged that unit. Oh no, it's not a general. We have a half cataphract lancer unit. They are the heaviest unit we have available at the moment.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
We flattened that unit. They're all on the ground. The enemy has some javelin men. For some reason, our general hesitated attacking. But finally, we attacked the javelin men. Let's hope they don't throw any javelins. We routed one unit. It was routed from the horse archer fire. So these are those Pashtuns. I think they may have been mercenaries, I'm not sure. They have no armor except a metallic shield, at least the thought of a shield. They don't have a helmet, don't have body armor. Stop now. I expect our general is exhausted. That's why the horses keep stopping. It's interesting, this stuff. I quite like it. I like the idea of exhaustion and things like that.
All praise to Allah. This is a most crushing victory. Your name will live in marble, and our foes in sand.
So, we lost 43 men, somehow. I guess some of them died in some of the charges we made. A few got stuck, so some of the skirmishers got stuck in those units. If they got really spread out, those infantry units, sometimes they get terribly spread out, like really terribly spread out. And then some of our horse archers got stuck. I think that what happened. And one of our units got stuck. Anyway, doesn't matter. We lost 39 men, I think, from one of the units. Incredible.
Na'am. Sultan. Salam.
So we've gone back into Kabul, and possibly we could lay siege now on Ghazni.
Separating the men.
As my Sultan wills. An honor to serve.
We went out with all our horse archers. If they lay siege on Kabul, we'll worry about that later. And we'll lay siege on Ghazni.
Working our armies.
Yes, Sultan. We close for battle. We shall endure outside their walls. Lay siege.
There are a couple of units elsewhere, so I can bring reinforcements. For now, I need to lay siege on Ghazni. And the other thing is, even if they lay siege on Kabul, they won't just siege for a turn. Usually they siege for 2 turns.
We shall not fall.
That'll give us time to reinforce Kabul. So I auto-resolved this, chickened out, because with a catapult attacking a fortress or citadel, whatever it is, with 1 catapult could be difficult.
Long live the warriors of Islam! These lands are ours!
So that's a little bit of a, I'm cheating there, never mind. Don't hold it against me. I'm not really cheating, it's part of the game. It's just, in reality, if I attacked with just a catapult, a fortress or a citadel, I wouldn't probably be able to take it. So, the Kipchaks, the Cumans are asking for ceasefire. And we agree. I'm tired of those invasions.
You saw the balance in... Speak further. We welcome it.
So the Mongols are soon upon us. They may be arriving in as little as 2 or 3 years.
To be further
So they don't want to have trade with us. We'll give them some money. It's a generous proposal.
Speak not of this now.
But they're not interested.
We do not seem to agree on much. Begone!
Well, it's your problem. It was a generous offer. It's Chinese, it's Japanese voices, very interesting. Well, the eastern factions of the map have Chinese voices for some reason. And the Cumans, they're not eastern. Yeah, never mind. So, we have an Explorers Guild in Kerman now. I'm a big fan of Explorers Guilds and Merchants Guilds. So it is, we say yes. We accept. There's no money for Zakat. I'm afraid I'd like to help the poor and the homeless, but we have no money at the moment. One of our generals has been married, one of our faction members. And we've got a lot of things going at the moment, somehow. Going to a building spree, we're trying to strengthen our empire. We also need to save money. We're going to need money when the Mongols arrive. But let's just build a few things now while we can. So Utman Kunji is in Uch. And a ton of things were built, as we said. I'm taking some things off the building queues because I need to start saving for the Mongols. And we need to repair some of those broken things. There's still something in Kabul, the city hall or something that we need to repair. Also repaired already the catapult maker in Kabul. We'll retrain some of those units. Ali Shah has some traits that help him lower the cost of retraining. He is very valuable in this way. He probably has a mercenary captain and some other traits, tribal captain, and some other traits that help him lower the cost of retraining. So, also upgraded or repaired some stuff in Ghazni. Here's Gurganj. We need to build Gurganj up a little bit as well in preparation for the Mongols. And the Malikat of Sind has been destroyed. They had 2 settlements, I think, north of the Parmara Rajputs. Or maybe it was just one settlement. It was still they were still left with something up there, but I guess the Paramount Raspids took that settlement. And so they have been destroyed as a faction. And that was the end of episode 9. Thank you for watching.